Howdy fellas, and welcome to a very short live stream here today on September 17th. And this is Polo Charts TV, brought to you by IntroToCryptos.ca. And of course, at the beginning of each one of these, I go through this disclaimer to say this is not financial advice, this is not trading recommendations, it's not a trading alert. This is my own personal observations of the cryptocurrency markets that are traded on Poloniex, just to see how they match up against my own trading plan, to see how well I'm trading my own plan. And today, I want to talk about Bitcoin prices really dropped back. And we can see here that it's a 1, 2, 3 top formation, a triangle consolidation, and prices were showing big drop candles here before it finally dropped off pretty significantly on the 3-day view when we're looking at the 1-hour chart. So this is the 1-week view actually. And when we pull it back and we're taking a look at the 1-month view, we saw this big drop, which was much more significant, and then another drop here that was pretty big, and then a consolidation and prices rose a little bit. And if we zoom back out to the 3-month view, we can see that we are currently, prices are still above recent history, where prices drop down into the $5,800 range. And if we go into the 1-year view, we can see that we are still within a consolidation range, and prices have not dropped down below it. But the main thing to talk about today is, from this view here, what happened with all those cryptocurrencies that I talked about the other day that were looking like the bull market in cryptos was just about to start. Did this move kick those markets out of their bottom formations? Did they break the lows that they made on September the 12th? Did they break the lows that they made on August the 13th, right in here when Bitcoin made this low? So there's two important places in the market, one right here on the August 13th, and another here on September the 12th when Bitcoin made these lows. And many of the cryptocurrencies made lows on the 13th. Some of them made even lower lows on the 12th of September, while others maintained a little bit higher lows on the 12th of September. And we were looking at that right in about this point in the chart here when prices were looking like this was going to build and take off and go up. But it consolidated and it's dropped back a little bit. If we go into the 1-day view, we can see the prices have hit some sort of support, and there's a lot of selling volume going on here. Hit some sort of support, and this is a little miniature 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. But now I want to go through quickly go through everything on Poloniex here. I'm just going to blast through these because we have those two questions to answer. Did it go lower than the August 12th low? Did it go lower than the September the 12th low? August 13th and September the 12th. So many of the markets I had already identified as having failed the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation that was shaping up, and they had broken down below the August 13th low, and they were at the September 12th lows. So maybe the 1-month chart view will be more helpful to us. 1.5 months. And so the answer here for all of them is, did they make new lows? Did this ruin all these bottom formations? And AMP is pretty ambiguous, hard to say there. Let's go on to Ardor. Ardor did not break the lows of September the 12th, though it had already gone lower than the August 13th lows. So in short, this dip back by Bitcoin did not bring this back to the same levels, because Bitcoin, we know, went back to approximately the same levels of September 12th. But Ardor didn't. Basic attention token, it pulled back pretty good, but nowhere near as what it did on the September 12th. So the alts are right now, so far, showing resilience against Bitcoin's low. Bitcoin Cash didn't show as much resilience. It's come right back to the September the 12th lows, much like Bitcoin has. BCN, it's a little bit different, but it's showed resilience as Bitcoin dropped down. This hardly went back a couple Satoshi. This one's already done. This one's already done. I wish they'd take those charts off of the list. Bitcoin dark. It didn't go lower on the September 12th, and it didn't go lower now. It pretty much just hung out. Bitmark did pull back to about the September the 12th lows, but again, staying pretty flat, not really going up and down with Bitcoin. Now, BitShares made a low on September the 12th. It really rallied up here, made a little top formation, and it's pulled back a bit, but nowhere near compared to the September the 12th low. So here's another one where the cryptos are being more resilient than Bitcoin. Here's a low on September the 12th, a little bit of a dip back, almost edging out of this triangle consolidation we identified the other day, but I'd say this has showed some pretty good resilience as Bitcoin has pulled back. Clamcoin also had some lows on the 9th of September, and it's not pulled back to those low levels, nor the 12th of September lows. So again and again so far, we're seeing some resilience. Here's a low. It's a little bit higher low, but it did react as Bitcoin came back for Civic Coin. Dash, it went the other way. It didn't pull back and did not come back to its September the 12th lows. And it's higher than the August lows here. So another one showing resilience. It's so far here's September the 12th, and Decreed is showing a strength today instead of going down with Bitcoin. Digibyte, here's the 12th, and it's showing resilience. So over and over again, we're seeing resilience in most of the cryptos. Doge is actually showing some strength. It didn't dip down very much on the 12th of September, so I think Doge may be still going more. Here's another one. Did not come back to the September the 12th lows. Now, EOS actually really did react pretty significantly to Bitcoin's move, and it didn't come back all the way to the lows of the 9th and the 12th. It's still within this triangle. Like, we could extend this out further and say it's staying within that consolidation. This got adjusted just a little bit. So it's still within bounds of moves. Now, Ethereum Classic, it came back, but nowhere near to the 12th level. It's a very small move generally. Ethereum, it pulled back a little bit, but not as much as Bitcoin did. It did not come back to the September the 12th prices. Expanse has actually gone the other way and is going up while Bitcoin came down, not going back to the September the 12th lows. Here's another one, the September 10th, the 12th, and resisting, but did come back a little bit for Factum. Whoops. Game Credits had a pretty good low here, and Candle, it showed some resilience. It's not come back as much. Here's one that actually went lower than the lows on September the 12th. Let's fix that again. Pull that out of place. So here's the 13th of August. There's the 12th of September. So it's still higher. It's still higher than the 13th of August lows, but it did come back lower than the September the 12th lows here. That's the first one. Here's another one that has gone lower than the August 13th lows, but didn't pull back to the September the 12th lows. So over and over again, we're seeing a pretty good pattern that the alts have resisted going back as far as Bitcoin did on the 12th of September. Here's another one, some good candles to the low side, and it's resisted it, even though it's gone lower than the August 13th lows. We can blast through these pretty quick and see over and over again that the alts have been resisting this, and they did not crack down as low as what Bitcoin itself did. So here's one that's almost like library credits really reacted more strongly than most of the other alts. Loom resisted more than the library credits. Lisk, it pulled back a little bit, but it's higher than this August 13th lows. It's higher than the September the 12th lows. So there's another one resisting the move. How about Litecoin? There's a big dip down on the 12th of September, which is quite a bit lower than the 13th of August. And yet it has resisted the move back down, where Bitcoin has come back down to its September the 12th lows, and most everything else in the cryptos has not. Here's another one. It's resisting. It's higher than the August 13th, August 23rd, September the 12th, and it's higher. So that's great to see. Now, NAV is one of the few that's really taken off on this day. There's some candles to the upside, and it's pulled back a bit, but There's the August 13th, September the 12th, and it's going up today instead of down. Here's another one, August the 13th, a bit lower on all the way through here, but it resisted. It didn't crack down. Namecoin, another one that has actually showed some strength here and has not come back down to the September the 12th lows. This is a market that should be removed. Here's another one, did not come back to the September the 12th lows. So for the most part, the alts are rejecting this pullback. Here's one that didn't reject it very well. OMG, or almost ago. It came down to the September the 12th lows and really reacted to Bitcoin's move here today. One of the biggest reactors here, this and EOS. Omni pulled back pretty good, even below the September the 12th lows. So here's the worst of the reaction so far. There's three that made a big reaction. Pascal coin, it didn't pull back. In fact, it's holding its own after that big surge up on the 15th and 16th. Potcoin, it pulled back a bit, but not to the September the 12th lows, and it's higher than the August 13th. So overall, I'm seeing that the alts have not yet collapsed as Bitcoin has made that pullback. Doesn't mean that they're not going to. Here's one that the fourth one that actually reacted pretty strongly, almost back down to the September the 12th lows. Another market that's been removed and not taken off this service. Here's the fifth market now that actually has gone lower, the second one that's gone lower than the September the 12th lows. So these 4 or 5 markets that are showing some reaction to this are important. Okay, Steam dollars didn't really react. It came back a little bit. How about Sia coin? It came back a bit, but it's higher than August 13th, September the 12th. So it's resisting it so far. SNT, I don't know much about, but you can see the 12th and then a pullback, but not as deep. Steam, same thing, down on the 12th, a pullback, but not as much. And I went to publish something on Steam today and it wasn't published, so there's something going on there. August the 13th, we have lower lows on September the 12th. But after a pretty good rally up here, storage coin has not pulled back as much as Bitcoin has to those September the 12th lows. Now, STR or Lumens or Stellar or whatever it's actually called is looking like it's ready to take off and break higher. And this is one we reviewed the other day. I'll let you go back to those ones. This has not gone back as much. This one has not gone back as much. Here's the August 13th, September the 12th. It pulled back, but not nearly as much. And we got 3 pre-pump candles standing out here on Syscoin. Viacoin holding its own. VRC holding its own. There's another one, VTC holding its own. Bitcoin Plus also holding its own from the, that's a little bit different chart here from the 12th of September. It cracked up higher and it's been holding its own. It hasn't dumped as the same as Bitcoin has. Counterparty pretty much didn't react. It stayed flat all the way through here. We'll see what actually ends up going on with that. XEM, another one that didn't fold completely but pulled back. Now here, Monero showed great strength and a little bit of a dip, but not nearly as much as Bitcoin came back from the 12th all the way to today. So over and over again, oh, here's maybe the 6th one that reacted pretty much and is not really not the same chart patterns as the others. Ripple, 12th low, is lower than the August 13th. And it looks like it's gathering to pop higher as well, same as Lumens. Here's one that pulled back, but not nearly as much percentage-wise as Bitcoin. And the final one on Poloniex that has pulled back, but not nearly as much as Bitcoin has. So if I go back to Bitfinex and look at Bitcoin US dollar and zoom in on the one-day chart, this is where I don't recommend you spend very much time watching the markets. For my own part, it wastes hours and hours of time watching the market do pretty much nothing. And then when it makes a move like this, it seems like it's huge. But when you get back out to the 3-month view, where the 12-hour bars give you some perspective, it's made a pretty good move. And it brings it down to important support and resistance levels. But by the moving average crossover, there's still not much to do. There is an entry here, an exit here, maybe even a sell short here, and nothing else to do. But wait, here's a sell short, almost closed that position, but it says hold on to the short position right now. So there's if you get zoomed in too close and you're looking at the 15-minute bars, or you're looking at the 5-minute bars, or worse, you're looking at the 1-minute bars, it's a whole different style of trading. Instead of dealing with Newtonian laws here, you're using what do they call it, quantum laws, where when you get zoomed into the 1-day or 1-minute bars and 5-minute bars, things don't react quite the same as when you're looking at the 12-hour or 1-day bars. So it's a different style of trading completely. Anyway, I wanted to go through this partly for my own studies, partly to get this video out there so that people who are watching my other videos talking about the impending bull market in the cryptocurrencies, you can get my perspective on what this recent drop in Bitcoin prices has actually done to the cryptos. According to this, the same price levels when Bitcoin was at this price level back here, look at the price of Clam, and now look at the price of Clam, and Bitcoin has come all the way back to those levels. So proportionately, this has done better than Bitcoin over this period of time. And we can go over and all of them again in a closed up zoom level here. We can see where Bitcoin was back to these levels here on the 12th of September. And this is where Digibyte was, decreed. And it's made a consolidation pattern here and showing strength. Even as Bitcoin was dropping, this was just ignoring it and going its own way. And now that Bitcoin is recovering just the littlest bit, this is showing strength. So I'm still of the mind that the cryptocurrency bull market is setting itself up, and that we are going to see the beginning of a bull run. And I'm anticipating that this bull run will be lazy and it'll be slow. It won't be a big blast up. And I want it to be lazy and slow, and I want it to take its time. I want it to go on for 18 months to 2 years, this next bull market. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your audience here, and good luck in all of your trading.